How could you forget moments like these?
He hasn't left the bedroom all day?
Hasn't moved an inch. Not even to tinkle.
It's Friday night. Perhaps I can lure him out with the idea of a whirl around his favourite haunts. Oh, God, what have I become? Mikey, you're going to have to snap out of it.
I can't, Steph. It's too ooky out there.
We've battled bigger hurdles than this.
I haven't.
I beg to differ. Bigots, bullies, homophobes, rejection from family and friends. We're made of strong stuff. We've had to be, you and I.
You might. You're big, butch and bold.
You make me sound like a rhinoceros. There's loads of queer folks in this very situation. I don't like leaving you like this, Mikey.
I'll be okay. I've got me wheelchair.
Mikey brandishes a knife from underneath the pillow.
Put that thing away, now! It's not a toy!
What do you think we should do?
I don't know. I truly don't.
I'll stay.
Steph grabs her satchel, an overnight bag, and exits.
The kids of today really have no manners.
Friends of Dorothy, Episode 12, Off the Cuff, by David Rector. The kitchen. Simon is doing an energetic cleansing by spraying a nondescript container into the air, then waving his hands to spread the particles. Mikey is eating.
This is a healing potion of lavender, cinnamon, peppermint, and vanilla to rid the space of leftover tainted molecules and generalized violent vibrations.
No eye of newt.
Make fun if you like, but these aromas and rituals definitely cleanse and restore calm.
They certainly smell good. You took tips from Sadie the cleaning lady, didn't you, Si?
Simon and Mikey look at each other.
You take it. You're nearer. Be nice this time.
Hello? Hello? Speak now or forever hold your peace. How rude! They hung up.
Oh, maybe they thought you were William's beau.
He should be so lucky. Hey, Si, I had a thought.
So that was the grinding noise I could hear.
Why is everyone being as bitchy as me in this house? I'm the resident Joan Collins here.
We are learning from the master. Or mistress.
I wonder just how many queens and dykes are doing what we are right now.
What? Energetic cleansing and making funny?
No, silly. I mean sharing a house with a mix of personalities, having spicy dramas.
Maybe, although we have enough to go around.
My friend Larry lives in a shoebox, a hovel.
That's tough. So, who does he turn to?
Generally the bloke in the next dunny.
A lot of Friends of Dorothy must still be at home or in the closet. I certainly couldn't. But it is too expensive to live by yourself.
Considering the size of it, and Larry is fixated on size, he pays a lot to be alone.
We weren't made to be isolated, but together.
I've shared with straighties and it was a nightmare, hiding my sexuality. I was perpetually butching it up. It was exhausting. I don't know how I pulled it off. I hated living with family, but yes, I couldn't be on my own either.
No one to bring you cheese on toast in bed.
Simon sprays a dab of his potion around Mikey and leaves. The courtyard, midday. Mikey sees Steph looking. He joins her.
What have you boys been doing?
Si's been practicing his hocus pocus to clear the house of evil spirits, and I've been donating some clothes. He needs more clobber, and let's face it, what you and Wills have are not suitable for him or me, really.
Oh, well, if you want to look like Muppets.
How was the time with your folks?
It was like attending a performance of a well-trod play. Predictable and everyone on point.
Any thorny questions?
What were you thinking last night?
Oh, I meant from them.
No obfuscation.
Yeah, I've run out too. Do we really need to talk about it? It wasn't my finest hour.
You think? And make that 48 hours and counting. Promise me it won't happen again.
Mikey gets up,
Mikey!
charges inside. Steph frowns. Mikey is too slow and is stopped by a knock at the door. Simon is at the kitchen counter, so reaches across to answer.
William Woodward's residence. How may I direct your call?
Mikey, whilst watching Simon, opens the door to find Viv there.
Good to see you out of bed, young Mikey.
Just a sec.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to eavesdrop.
I'm sorry. I'm having trouble hearing you. You sound like you're in a bucket. No, he's not home. Who shall I say is calling? June? Jules? Jude? It might be less painful for us both if you call back. Say, maybe at 4? He might have returned then. Okay. Nice to talk to you, June. Jules. Jude. Cheery bye.
Steph has come in from the courtyard, stands mid-living area.
Hiya, Viv. Apologies for my rudeness.
And some to me, please, for leaving mid-chat.
Hello, 3 of my little ducklings. Now, what was all that excitement on the blower?
It's like Telecom Central here today. One after another. All for William.
So that explains your downing tools on me.
Was that a Sybil? Multiple personalities?
Oh, that movie scared the bejesus out of me.
Could have been a heavy breather. I couldn't make out what they said. And a boy or a girl?
William most definitely needs a girl Friday. Or in this case, a girl Saturday. Or a boy Saturday. Perhaps he could alternate every week, like he does with dates.
I hope he's out having a gay old time with someone. Oh, perhaps I should rephrase that.
Well, half of Sydney has been on the phone looking for him, so he's definitely out there.
As opposed to you hiding in a bed not your own with a sharp knife under your pillow, Michael.
Oh, that was so yesterday, Steph. Literally.
You're obviously feeling much better now.
Do you think Wills will stay? He never seems to be home. He's constantly bed hopping.
Remember, we talked about this. His business.
He'd be a great contestant on Mastermind. When the host asks, "What is your name?" he'd say, "William Woodward." And your special subject? Bisexuality. What is your profession? Bed warmer.
As opposed to you, bedwetter.
William has let himself in the front door during the last interchange to see the others standing around.
Are we here for a brunch or a roasting?
I just wanted to see if Mikey was all right.
Oh, he's just fine and dandy now, playing dress-ups and being inappropriate again.
I haven't done anything inappropriate for over a week. Ugh. And I've been gifting Cy with my inimitable bull style.
Did you gift him with the big girl's blouse that you perpetually wear and are?
I didn't think you were that kind of boy.
Oh, he is every kind of boy. Perhaps it's time you were a man for once in your life.
Well, you're not a woman. More like a steel-belted radial.
That's pretty offensive, pal.
Mikey has first-class honours in offensive.
I think it's high time you stop dumping your frustrations and failings onto Mikey.
This from an alleged clairvoyant and two-bit crooner trying to be anybody but himself.
Haven't we all been put down enough out there without doing the same to each other? In here.
Would you like me to fetch the tweezers so you can remove the splinters from your shapely bottom after sitting on that fence, as you do?
Viv has encircled the group and steps into the middle.
Dorothy! 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 Dorothy!
Are you having a fit? You don't know what...
I know plenty, and I have heard enough.
But, Viv, the vibrations are better out than in.
I don't want to know anybody's vibration but mine. I'm not going to stand here and listen to you tear strips off one another. In fact, I am going to sit here and not listen to you tear strips off one another. And don't stand over me. Everybody sit down. You're behaving like spoiled children. It's obvious that an adult is needed here.
Simon and Mikey take the sofa, Steph reluctantly a garden chair, William slides on the beanbag, Viv the armchair.
What would Dorothy make of your behaviour? If you are a friend of hers, then act like one.
Dorothy doesn't exist. It's a turn of phrase.
No more words. Not one syllable. I don't know what the straw was that broke the camel's backside, but I'll get out my rolling pin. I'm not afraid to use it.
A fierce look from Viv, and no one gets up.
What is happening?
I think we're being held hostage in our
Shh,
own...
I said no talking.
This is not your house.
Maybe, but I am here all the time.
I've been meaning to raise that with you.
I'm with Viv. This bickering is not good.
I have no beef with any of you, except Steph.
Me? What have I done to you? Except indulge your whimsical lifestyles and psychobabble.
You treat Mikey like a doormat, and you look down your elegant nose at me as well.
I wouldn't call hers elegant, but thanks, Si.
You called Mikey a big girl's blouse, and I think that's an insult to the oversized, to women in general, and to blouses.
He referred to me as a huge piece of rubber.
All those comments were made off the cuff.
So we do that all the time. It's not new.
But that's no excuse. We all heard what was said. Young William is correct. Comments were made in the heat of the moment. It's a no-no.
Why do you suppose you're the best equipped to facilitate a conciliatory discourse, Viv?
Because she doesn't have to live with 4 combative flatmates. Viv can return home.
Steph wants to chime in, but acts zipping her mouth.
What happened to looking after your own kind? I don't want to see you speak before you think and turn on each other and Vicky Verka.
We will sort it out, Viv, but we don't need an intervention.
Oh, indeed you do. You were rude too, Simon, and yet butter wouldn't melt in your mouth.
I had a guy once whose mouth could melt.
Do we need more of your explicit fantasies?
Every tale I tell is true. Well, mostly. Steeped in truth. Okay, based on fact. Loosely.
Now, I suggest we talk through this. But before we do, I need to have a wee-wee.
Viv gets up and darts into the bathroom. Steph quietly stands and moves her chair.
Nobody leaves.
The others stare.
It ain't over till the old boiler tinkles and washes her hands and returns and sorts out you ragamuffins.
Ooh, did she say muffins? I love choc-chipped.
William wriggles on the beanbag. Steph looks terse. Mikey picks a piece of fluff from Simon's top.
You used to defluff me.
Steph, I don't fluff that way anymore.
They exchange a brief smile before reverting to silence. Viv meanders back to her chair.
Well done, my little chickadees. You stayed.
We didn't dare not to. When did you get so fierce, Viv? One of our drag queens is 6 feet 4 inches and built like a Sherman tank, but even he would be scared stiff.
There's 2 words I don't experience together.
Rightio. I'm going to tell you a little story.
Oh, really? aren't we all suffering enough?
If we promise to behave, could we relocate to the kitchen and have some food? I'm empty.
Not had your fill yet. My, what a big appetite.
He's not the only insatiable one.
15 hungry minutes later, Viv is holding court at the end of the counter. The other 4 on stools, 2 on either side, eating sandwiches.
Very nice tuna sandwich, Viv. Thanks so much.
It's chicken, actually. Just leftovers.
The other 4 push their plates away.
Oh,
I had a big breakfast. I'm good.
Can we get this show on the road?
This is not a show, Steph. It's real life.
Just an expression. And I need to leave soon.
oh, amidst all the hullabaloo, I forgot to tell you that several people rang for you.
Several? Half the phone book, I tells ya.
Chris, Taylor, Jules or Jude, and your mum. Oh, and hang up. Maybe a heavy breather.
Thanks, Simon. I think I can account for all of those. Even the heavy breather.
How kinky. You are just full of surprises.
Back to me, please. A lesson you can all do with. The perils of speaking before thinking.
Shall we take notes?
There's an example right there. Viv is sincerely wanting to help. Go ahead.
I'll take us back in time to 1964.
Will we be done by 3? I'm off to the beach.
It's a short story, but a very important one. It was our first wedding anniversary, and we were at the Blob's parents', and I told a joke. I was 3 sheets to the wind, and I thought,
What? The old blobs lived on a boat?
Viv was pissed.
Oh, it's mighty dangerous to drink and sail.
Oh, yes. You might get drunk and sunk.
You see what I put up with?
your generation has a terrible attention span.
I read an article about that. It blames television. So the blobs were offended by you?
Who's telling this story?
No one at the moment.
I asked, how many mother-in-laws does it take to change a light bulb?
Was the blob too lazy to get up and do it?
She looked at me blankly and said, why, just the one, of course. I immediately said, none. All she has to do is nag everyone else to death to do it for her. Well, the look I was given was truly terrifying. She never forgave me for that, to this day.
But you weren't necessarily insulting her.
Wasn't I? But did I want to be dismissed and ignored for the next 20 years? No.
But it was a joke. It didn't mean anything.
Like Steph calling Mikey a big girl's blouse, or him likening her to a car tyre, or you poking Steph, or her poking you.
That's a lot of fingering there. Not proper.
So what's the moral of the story? We should never say what we feel, not challenge bad behaviour, not try to right the wrongs?
You're a clever girl, Steph. Much smarter than me. Have a think about it.
Viv quietly removes herself, heads to the bathroom.
What are we going to do?
I don't know.
But you always have a plan.
Maybe I'm out of my depth.
I was out of line, Steph. I should know better. Treat others as I want to be treated.
Viv's right. The heat of the moment can really burn. If we don't shape up, this won't work. What's the point of a queertopia that is more fractious than Straitsville? If I wanted to live in a niggling, nosy joint, I'd move back with my folks. But I don't, and I won't.
Even if I wanted to, I can't be with mine.
Me too. And I don't want to live alone.
Shelley's got the right idea. She's in a granny flat, in a garden that belongs to a granny.
Maybe they could do swapsies.
Viv returns from the bathroom.
Oh, that lunch was a disaster. Let's start over.
She was talking about the food, wasn't she?
The courtyard. Steph, Mikey, and Simon are seated, chatting. Viv is cleaning up lunch in the kitchen.
She was cute when she called us all Dorothy.
Cute is not quite the adjective I'd use.
Viv showed a lot of guts in there. Her vibration is certainly wounded, but there's fire in that belly, you know.
I've got some fire in my belly after whatever that first round of lunch was.
It can't be easy being in a loveless marriage and forever denigrated by your mother-in-law.
Shh! She also has supersonic hearing, Steph.
It's all too simple to think that only queer people suffer the slings and arrows of life.
I thought only gay men hung out in slings.
Do you mean swings?
He thinks he's being funny. No, this is a wake-up call. Or it should be. We've been through too much the last few weeks to go ruin it now.
Steph, before you said that Dorothy doesn't exist, but she most certainly does.
I meant it's a code. Viv made her sound real.
But she is, from The Wizard of Oz.
Or with that fag hag, Dorothy Parker.
Oh, I do hate that expression. It demeans both hags and fags. Friends of Dorothy is meant to encapsulate a whole swathe of folks like us, needing to have each other's backs.
That was our desire for this household.
Viv may not get everything, but she gets that. Bless her. I'll go help with the dishes.
Simon skips out of the courtyard and calls across to Viv.
You two are great together.
Me and Viv?
Don't be dim, Mikey. I'm glad you have a pal.
Is that what all this drama is about today?
I have no colour, no vitality, no verve.
Well, basic black and grey will do that to you.
I felt invisible with my family last night. Oh, they asked me questions, but either I have no answers or the inclination to show them my real self. I was an actor filling a role. I just don't feel authentic there. But I'm unsure I know who I am here anymore either.
Did the home invasion impact you too?
No, I think it's bigger than that. We got this house to be with our own kind, and we did. But it's held up a little mirror for me, I guess.
You gotta get a full-length one, Steph. Everything looks more proportioned and sleek.
I want to do something with purpose, not just go to endless lectures and sell vitamins.
You've got the sisterhood, your protests.
Oh, it feels like we go round in circles.
You have to march forwards, in a line, 8 abreast. Which would make 16 boobs?
How can anybody take you seriously when you don't take yourself or anything else that way?
And you take yourself and the whole kit and the poodle way too seriously. Perhaps that's why you're such a grizzle guts.
The bathroom. Simon and Mikey are jostling for the mirror.
Back on your broom, Si. Now, Debbie, the tide is high and call me impatient, but one way or another, I'm going to get you out of my reflection.
Very good, Mikey. You know you're Blondie.
Just as well you're no longer Mae West or Dolly. We all couldn't fit in here.
Debbie Harry is a stepping stone. Once I have more dosh, I'll find a new persona. I'll create an original. Just you watch.
Talking about moolah, can you lend me a few bucks for tonight? Due to my recent, incapacitation, I couldn't get to the bank.
I wish I could, but they cleaned me out. I'm skint. Those nasty vandals found my stash.
Stash? What stash? I thought you had no money.
Oops, sigh. Never underestimate the bionic woman and her snooper-duper hearing.
Steph has arrived at the bathroom door, crowding them in.
How much, Simon?
$74.32.
What?
Don't tell us it was under the mattress.
No, it was hidden in Dolly's bust.
Oi, Gavolt!
Whoops. Oh, watch out. She's gonna blow.
There has been a grandiose misrepresentation and disingenuous depiction of your circumstances and capacity to contribute to these communal arrangements. It's egregious.
Look, I'm sorry, Steph, but I do live hand to mouth.
You just went foot in mouth. I don't buy it. We took you at your word from the very start.
Again, I'm sorry. But 5 years and all I have to show for it is a handful of items. Forgive me for being the squirrel who hides his nuts for the winter. I too was gutted that I had so much taken from me in the robbery.
I'm horrified that you lost your nuts, Si. Why don't you report it to the police?
Oh, no. Cops would love to see the back of me. They'd push us all off the nearest cliff.
They'd have us brainwashed into heteros. Take the Barbie dolls from the boys and the Tonka trucks from the girls. But still, Simon, don't treat us like mugs. Be honest. And for God's sake, don't put cash inside wigs or brassieres.
Steph's right. You'll go bust. Get it? Brah.
What am I going to do with you two clowns?
We're here. We're queer. Get used to it.
Make that 3. You're still here, Viv, and how do you know our chant?
I'm always here, dolls. And I'm a friend of Dorothy. A good friend.
The kitchen. A short time later. Viv and Steph are having a quiet cuppa on stools.
You gotta go home sometime, Viv.
Am I starting to pong like fish and company?
No, although it has been a very intense day.
More melodrama than Gone with the Wind.
You certainly strutted your stuff earlier. I didn't know you could be that assertive.
Deep down, you're good kids. But every now and again, no harm in banging your heads together.
Not sure I condone the violent construct, but we did need to thrash some of it out.
Do you think you can all get along?
Until today, I thought so. But now?
Mikey enters, ready to head out.
You gals staying in tonight? Crocheting? Knitting? Sewing?
Yes, a big zipper to seal your mouth with.
Ouch. Well, don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Well, that leaves very little, doesn't it?
Did William head out in his budgie smugglers? And was it a full-grown bird or just a baby?
Down, Mikey. He was fully clothed, but seemed to have plenty of places to be, people to meet.
Beds to warm.
Do you blame him? All the histrionics, and would you want to sleep on that lump of a bed?
I did. Last night.
Steph does a double take. She looks at Mikey, who nods.
Well, I'm off.
Tell us something we don't know.
Mikey grins and skips out. Steph pauses, looking at Viv.
He was scared and alone. And the blob was giving me the tom tits. I needed to be somewhere else.
Thank you.
The living room. Saturday evening. Steph is by herself, sprawled on the sofa, watching TV. Simon sachets in. He is sporting a black wig. Steph jumps.
Good Lord, Simon! You've just aged me 10 years. Some warning, please.
Oh, sorry, Steph. And I didn't buy it. It's a loaner.
So either Blondie is a misnomer or you are no longer Debbie Harry.
I'm taking your advice. Finding my own woman. Crafting a new diva.
If I wasn't Jewish, I'd go to confessional. What have I done?
No, it's good. I need to evolve. Are we okay?
Steph looks at him all decked out and can't help but smile.
I guess we have to be. We need every friend of Dorothy we can find, don't we?
Noise of raised voices is heard from next door.
Are you going to be alright tonight?
Yep, I will. I'm going to cogitate and consider how I can create something tangible. Friends of Dorothy has to be more than just a saying, a code, not just an esoteric idea.
Ooh, that's a tall order for one evening.
They're going at it next door, aren't they?
Oh, Saturday nights do seem to be the witching hours around here, don't they?
He gets under her feet, she under his skin. I hope Viv's okay. I should have insisted she stay.
A honking horn propels Simon to wave to Steph a goodbye.
Toodaloo.
Steph gets up to change the channel, lies back on the sofa. Some time later, she has been dozing and is awakened by a distant sound of sirens. Steph sits up. The TV focuses her.
We interrupt our golden years of Hollywood with an eyewitness news update. Just in, reports that police have attended a crime scene at the coastal cliffs between Bondi and Tamarama. A body was seen by locals floating in shallow water just before nightfall. Witnesses have told authorities that two men had been seen earlier arguing at a partially obscured vantage point.
Oh my God.
The entire area has now been cordoned off, and the detectives are questioning onlookers.
No.
Traffic to the popular destination has been redirected. It does seem that foul play has occurred.
No.
Repeating the news, one man has died in this incident, which has been treated as suspicious. When we have more details, we will bring them to you. We now return to the movie of the week, The Lost Weekend. Good night.
Steph is now sitting fully upright and looks horrified.
Oh my God. No.
The end. Or is it?
Wait, there's more. Don't go anywhere. Tune in next week for a big surprise. It's all I'm saying. It's all I can say. Well, I could say a bit more, but I won't. Oh, and season 2 is on the way. We're back.
The cast and crew from Friends of Dorothy.
The role of Mikey is played by Declan Clifford.
Steph is performed by Tessa Nielsen.
River Stevens is the actor behind Simon.
The character William is brought to you by Riley Nottingham.
Martine Halliday is Viv. Well, for the duration of this podcast at least.
My name is Barry Michael, and the songs featured here were written and performed by me.
Recorded at Big Ears Audio by Adrian Ricciotti and Tony Lazzaro.
And at Real Voice LA by Mike DeLay.
And I'm Joanna Halliday, and I've been your storyteller. Friends of Dorothy was written, produced, directed, and edited by David Rector.
Madness. Utter lunacy.
Begun.
Copyright 2024.